MarionHeartWalk.org.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I really don't understand money, Robin. I'll be honest with you. I don't understand money. I mean, you know, you consider yourself worth whatever it is, and you ask for whatever you want per hour. But I don't really get it. I mean, when I watch these talking heads on TV and they're talking about, you know, the Dow Jones Industrial and all that, I don't really get it. I mean, I know that if it goes up, it's a good thing. If it goes down, it's a bad thing. But yes, but see, I'm not even sure about that. And now they have this new currency. What do they call them? The virtual currencies?
Yeah, the Bitcoins.
The Bitcoins, and there's a whole load of those things. And we tried to discuss it one day, and I prepared myself with all kinds of paperwork so that I could try to halfway like understanding it, but I don't really understand it. I don't know that I'll ever understand it. You have a guy working 10 hours a day, digging ditches. I mean, really working hard, right? Mm-hmm. And he gets $10 an hour, maybe even less than that, right?
Yeah.
And then you have another guy working, you could argue, equally as hard at playing baseball or something, and if you figured it out per hour, it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars or something like that. It's like unbelievable. How is one man's hour worth more than another man's hour?
Yeah.
You know, so if it was all the barter system, you would say, well, I'll give you my cow that I raised the past year, so it's got 1 year worth of work invested into it, and you will give me the couch that took you 1 year to make.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a cow, you give me a couch. With that said, I've just revealed to our next guest that he's talking to somebody who doesn't really get money. His book is called Return to Order. He is John Horvat II, and the subtitle, Where We've Been, How We Got Here, and Where We Need to Go from a Frenzied Economy to an Organic Christian Society. I'm looking forward to hearing about this. And maybe he'll help me understand money a little bit better. John Horvat. Good morning, John.
Great to be on your show.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
All right. Do you understand money?
I think it's not entirely. You know, I read a book by one of the greatest economists in history by the name of Schumpeter. And he wrote a 1,200-page history of money, and at the end he said, you know, I really don't quite understand the whole thing either.
Isn't that strange? I mean, if you think about how the rest of God's creation lives, there is no need to exchange anything with anybody. A cow goes out and eats grass. You know, a dog would, in its natural habitat, would kill another animal and eat it.
Yeah, but we're a little more complicated, I think. We just we have needs, and other people have needs, and money is a medium of exchange. I mean, it's not a bad thing.
No,
it can be abused. It can get out of balance, and I think that's pretty much our problem today.
But do we have something in place, at least in this country, that would be considered like a checks and balances when it comes to our finances, so that when people abuse it, it levels out at one point?
Well, we have the Fed system, which is it has a lot of problems. I agree. I think it has a lot of problems. But I think in the final analysis, money, the whole thing of money, is not an economic problem. It's a moral problem. When you have a system, when you have people who spend more than they earn, when you have people just throwing caution to the wind, making bad investments, these are the kind of things that throw economy out of balance, and no system can sustain that, if even the best of systems. Does
anybody actually make a bad investment, though? Doesn't everybody who makes an investment think it's a good one?
Well, I mean, there are times when people, like the present time, when interest rates are very, very low, people say, well, I really don't have a lot to lose by making risky investments and buying junk bonds, and so they'll just throw caution to the wind and say, well, I'll get out before the thing crashes, and that's what we're seeing a lot in today's economy.
We had a news story this morning in our News Bites segment about the big three banks. Bank of America is one of them, moving out of England and going to another country.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see that. What was the reasoning?
Oh gosh, they thought that the economy would be better because they felt that the economy was on a downturn.
Right. I mean, what we have, and that's what I talk about in my book, Return to Order. It's what I call frenetic intemperance. That's where people just think about the moment, the short term. They want it now, instantly, regardless of the consequences, and that's what's really just causing so many of the economic problems throughout our modern history for the last 200 years. It just goes up and down, and it's a crazy way to run an economy.
If I go to New York City, I'll see a lot of big buildings, the same big buildings that I remember as a kid. I grew up there, and once upon a time, the building names were Pan Am or or GE or things like that. Now you see all insurance companies. Mm-hmm. Insurance companies seem to be the ones really making the big bucks right now. And there was a commercial I heard, and it said that if you want to have good health insurance, sign up for this Christian health program where we all cover each other's costs, which is the principle of, I guess, the philosophy behind insurance companies in the first place. But I guess their approach was you'll never pay more than $300 a month or something like that. And is that sort of where we need to go? I mean, are we able to actually make those choices and say, you know what, I'm staying away from MetLife and I'm going to go to this thing I've never heard about, but I like their commercial?
I think it's something in the right direction, because what really keeps the economy in balance is not legislation or regulation. It's the natural regulating influences of family, faith, and community. When you have those things in order, economy goes into order. And you're talking about that health program, Christian health program. I've seen that, and it's pretty interesting because their logic is, well, if you have a demographic that's practicing virtue and doing what they need to do to helping in the family, your health costs are going to be a lot less than those who are just simply living it up and living unhealthy lifestyles. And I think it has some logic to it. If we go back to return to order, our economy will be in a much easier and better position to keep in balance, and that's my main thesis.
And I guess the reason I point out the names on the buildings is because if we are haphazardly living lifestyles that causes insurance companies to have to lay out all this money. This is what they said with the hurricanes 10 years ago now in Florida. That if that were true, then we wouldn't have. How could those insurance companies pay for those gigantic buildings? Not just New York City, by the way, but many skylines in America have the names of insurance companies. So they must be making huge profits.
No doubt. And it is a lot of these finance companies as well, and they do a lot of it with debt, with their leveraging, with a lot of financial instruments that take advantage of a system that I feel is not going in the right direction.
John Horvat II is our guest. His book is called Return to Order: Where We've Been, How We Got Here, and Where We Need to Go. And I've only just covered the surface so far, and let's be fair to the book when we come back and learn the details. From a frenzied economy to an organic Christian society. I want to know more about that, and we'll find out more about that when we come back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today with a thunderstorm in spots this afternoon and this evening. The high today 90 to 94. And partly cloudy overnight, low 73 to 77. Tomorrow mostly sunny and hot with a high of 92 to 96. On Wednesday, times of clouds and sun with a chance of a thunderstorm near the coast. The high on Wednesday 92 to 96. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
I'm Diane Schreer, candidate for School Board, Marion County District 4. I'm asking you to vote for me in this primary. A healthy economy requires a healthy school system. Our children are our future. We must improve the quality of education so our children can compete, not only in the local and national arena, but globally as well. This is a nonpartisan election, and you may vote for me throughout the county. Again, please vote for me. I'm the best qualified candidate and totally committed to improving education here. I'm Diane Schreer, candidate for School Board, Marion County District 4.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
We should eat our larger meals earlier in the day so we have energy, and eat our smallest meal at night so the body can focus on sleeping. Successful relationships aren't supposed to be perfect. They require vulnerability. Telling yourself that a guy isn't good enough, our expert says you're really just giving yourself an excuse to stop trying. Couples should send 2 texts a day that provoke interest, like, I want to tell you about this cool vacation idea I had.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
All right, 12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for waiting through the break. John Horvat II is on the phone. His book is called Return to Order, and we have not really been fair to the book in our first part, but it's just an interesting talk about money, and I'm anxious to hear what he means by from a frenzied economy to an organic Christian society. Let me just tell you this first. John is a scholar, a researcher, an educator, an international speaker. He contributes to the Wall Street Journal, the Christian Post, Fox News, the Washington Times, C-SPAN, ABC News, and so it's a real honor to be able to say he's on our show. And in about 10 minutes or so, I'll give away the copy of the book that was sent to us, and the rest of us will have to go buy it, of course. John, thank you for waiting through the break. So is there a way for us to live differently, and do we have to get everybody in on it, or can we have our own little commune or something? How does that work?
Well, I mean, that's an interesting question. I never had that asked. I think no, we have to pretty much we're in this whole thing together, and we need to if the economy is going to improve, I think the whole thing has to be involved, because everything is so interconnected. And I think eventually it is going to have to go that way, because the situation's not that good. I mean, we're really heading toward a very strong financial shock.
The first time I heard the phrase "the Bank of International Settlements" was through you, through your book and the material. I've never heard of them before. What do they exactly do?
Okay, they just came out with a report. They have a yearly meeting in Basel, Switzerland, and they're central bankers, all the central bankers of the Western major economic powers, and they came back, just finished, and they issued a report saying that the climate now is more fragile and volatile than the build-up to the Lehman Brothers crisis in 2007. So that's what it really really gets me worried, because I think we are really heading for a shock, and these people know it. These people are the central bankers. They're the ones that run the show.
And when there is a big collapse, quite often it's the small guy that ends up with the problems. A lot of times the people at the top they jump out of buildings, but the ones at the bottom are the ones who. Have you ever noticed that the big guys, they jump out of the buildings, they kill themselves, and meanwhile it's the small guy that's really towing the line. Am I right?
Oh yeah, they pay for it. Yeah, the pension funds, the hedge funds, all the investment things. The ones on top, they hedge their bets. They're betting on both sides, and so if one side wins, they win. If the other side wins, they win. So it is it's a lopsided battle. But at a certain point, even they're not going to have a really soft landing.
What do you mean by organic Christian society? And did Christ himself, and I'm not asking you to be a theologian, whatever the word is.
Right.
But I mean, did he himself give us rules on how to manage our money?
Well, specific rules, not. I wouldn't think so. But I mean, his teachings, you can really get a lot from his teachings and apply those teachings to just about anything in life. So you can't also do it in economy. When I talk about organic Christian society, I mean a society that is very much directed towards natural relationships, natural leaderships. Community where these natural links that keep people together help the economy. It creates a climate of trust and confidence that we used to have. That used to be a man's word was worth something, and you could deal with that, and it helped the economy. It created an atmosphere that led to a type of prosperity, and so that's the type of thing I'm talking about, where family, community, and faith enter into our economic relationships and help those creates an atmosphere so that economy can be balanced and you don't have this up and down yo-yo-like effect that we see in so much of modern.
And I understand, I think what you're saying, and let me take a shot at it and see if I'm just going to give two examples and see if it's in line with what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. If I go to my mechanic, who happened to have been in here just a little while ago, and he tells me something is wrong with my car and it's going to cost $300, I believe him because I know he's always been honest with me, and and somebody else might charge me $600 or $800. That's to me being a good Christian, a good person, and just being fair with me.
Yeah, if you know him. Yeah, go ahead.
If I go to my bank, on the other hand, and I find out that last night. One of my automatic deductions came out that I subscribed to $15 a month, right, or $15 every 3 months, and it caused me to be overdrawn, and now 2 checks bounced because of it. And now I'm paying $70 in fees for 2 checks that were worth less than $10 together.
Right.
To me, I should be able to sit with that person and go, this is something not fair here. You just made $70 because of a mistake that I made that I fixed like 2 hours later. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That to me doesn't sound very good.
You hit it right on the button, because those kind of things, when you have a human relationship, you can say, well, look, I had a problem, and they say, well, okay, forget about it. We'll take care of it. They're not in it for the money. They have this human relationship with you that keeps things human and warm, and not this cold, mechanical, socialistic type systems that are in place today that treat you like a number.
Right. But how are we ever going to? I mean, there's always going to be the guys like my mechanic, and there's always going to be the entities like the bank that I just described. How are we ever going to get away from that?
Well, I think that the crisis that's coming is going to put us in that direction. That will be, whenever a big crisis happens in economy, it forces people back to think about those return to order. I mean, even when you have a crisis in your own life, the first thing you do is, you go home, you reconnect with the community, you think about God.
Yeah.
Those things of order are things that are there for you to return to, and that I think we as a society are eventually going to have to return to that. There's really no other way out, no other place to go, unless it be towards socialism or some really horrible type mechanical system that it simply won't
Yeah.
I've heard people say that the U.S. economy flourishes when they're involved in wars. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't think we can make a general rule about that. It's not. We don't want wars. It's not a good economic policy in general. But of course, spending does increase. But I mean, I don't think it's a general rule. We shouldn't want wars to help our economy.
Another thing that seems not very Christian-like is, even though we like cheap products, but we hear all the time that the products that we buy are being manufactured literally by people who are basically slave labor in Asia. I don't know that that's true, but we hear it so much, it sounds like it might be true. I would rather have somebody producing whatever it is, the clothing I wear, the car I drive, and getting a decent salary for it, and then I pay a fair wage for that, as opposed to paying the middleman the fair wage, and nothing ever trickles back to those Asian slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. No. The whole China problem. I mean, it is tragic. I think it's very tragic, and those kind of factors need to be put back into economy. A lot of people think that economy is just numbers and figures and formulas. There needs to reestablish the link between moral values and economy. I mean, that's what economy was all about. Adam Smith was not an economist. He started out as a moral philosopher, and he made that connection. So we should also. Have you been challenged about anything that you have written in your book? Oh yeah, you get people of all types. You just you have to go with the punches. And so yes, I have people just saying, well, no. We can't go back we can't make that link. Economy, let the free market control everything. These are things that they bring up, but I do deal with that in the book.
Well, I hope somebody's listening that is in charge, and I hope there really isn't some underground group of people that really is in control of all of our money and all that. And I hope we don't have to have a chip put into our hand so that we can't buy groceries without that chip. And we've all heard those rumors. The book is called Return to Order. It's a well-written book, and I have a copy of it right here. If you would like the copy I have, call me and it's yours. It'll be waiting for you. John, how do the rest of us get it? Is there a website?
Yes, you can go to returntoorder.org, and there you'll find how to buy it. And there's a blog and other resources they can download. So it's a great way to connect.
From a frenzied economy to an organic Christian society. By the way, just on a side note, whenever not whenever, but I have at times stopped at like roadside stands, and one of them is an Amish roadside stand. Mm-hmm. I always feel like I'm being treated fairly with them.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just seems like, wow, I could buy this tomato in a grocery store for 10 times as much. Why don't I stop here more often?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
No, it's exactly that. I mean, it's just that human element is very, very important to economy, and we've lost that human element.
I think you're right. And I hope somebody's listening and maybe some lawmakers. I don't know. It just seems like there's always going to be the roadside stand, and there's always going to be the supermarket. And I guess, I go to supermarkets too. I'd be a hypocrite to tell you I didn't.
Right. We all have to deal with that. Yeah. But there is, I think, a lot of yearning for things like for these things. A lot of people really want this element. The example I'll give very quickly is craft beers. 50 years ago, there were 60 breweries in the country. Today, there are 2,300, and so there is a demand for that human touch, that craftsmanship that we've lost.
Yeah, I went to the website returntoorder.org. Mm-hmm. And there's a quiz on there, and you can buy the book there. Thank you for being with us, John. Great speaking with you. Very fascinating conversation. It went too quick. I wish we had more time.
Well, it's been great. Been very great. Thank you very, very much.
All right, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Missouri's governor is bringing in the National Guard to help restore peace. That's after another violent night in Ferguson where an unarmed teen was fatally shot by a police officer more than a week ago.
Shootings and throwing of Molotov cocktails and the destruction of businesses. We had to act.
Missouri State Patrol Captain Ron Johnson, and a private autopsy has been done that reportedly shows Michael Brown was shot 6 times, either front and not from close range, which would conflict with what alleged witnesses claim they saw.
Fox Radio's Jeff Manasso in St. Louis. A 30-year-old teacher back from West Africa is being treated for Ebola in New Mexico.
We think that it's likely that she has another illness, but we want to be extremely careful.
State Health official Joan Baumbach says the woman had symptoms similar to Ebola. Home builders are feeling more confident. The trade group says builders' outlook for new sales is at its highest level since January, citing better business conditions. Fox News. We report, you decide.
They say every healthy relationship should have a balance of predictability and spontaneity. In fact, it is that assurance of security that makes the spontaneous possible. Your relationship with your car should be a little like that too. With our new industry-leading unlimited mileage warranty, your certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz instills a sense of confidence. You drive away knowing that you can keep driving for up to 3 years and never have to worry about the miles. Add to that our new complimentary prepaid maintenance on select models, and your certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz becomes the ultimate carefree escape vehicle. Only during the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales event, going on now through September 2nd, can you also take advantage of a 2-month payment credit on many models, plus 3 months of Sirius XM satellite radio. So hurry in today. It might just be the most predictable, spur-of-the-moment decision you've ever made.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.